Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube pipe community. How are you doing? Lewis coming at you once again. Beautiful Friday night. It is finally the weekend. And it was a really short week for me. With the 4th of July falling on Tuesday, my commander finally relented to giving us Monday off as well. And I worked at my moonlighting practice. I took the day off from, I took leave from my Army clinic and went and made some money at my moonlighting practice last Friday. So I hadn't been to work since Thursday. I call the Army more work than the private practice gig. The private practice gig is work, but it's more fun. It's more diverse. Not everybody that you see is an 18 to 30-year-old male. And in the Army, we get a lot of busy work. And that's just not the case in private practice, at least not where I'm working. So I feel like I've been off since I had been off since last Thursday. So I worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But, man, I had quite an exciting weekend. And I got to talk about that just a little bit. Now, I don't want to come off as any sort of a braggart or anything, but I am absolutely blessed because I had something really nice happen to me. Little housekeeping. Smoking my Brebbia Sun meerschaum lined pipe, kind of a squat tomato author-ish shape. It's got an oval shank, kind of like you would see on a Canadian. But at the same time, this author-style bowl. It's like if you took a Savinelli 320 and just squashed the whole thing. It's a good smoking pipe, but especially because it's meerschaum lined, whatever I smoke in it has got a very pure flavor. Tonight, I'm smoking Luxury Bullseye Flake. And I'm sipping on some 6-point resin. This is a heck of an IPA, guys. 103 IBUs, 9.1% alcohol by volume. So it's pretty strong stuff. I'll be having one and limiting it to that. So, my exciting weekend is going to lead to me curbing my spending quite a bit. Now, my story starts in I don't know, 2014. Yeah, 2014. I got into a car accident. And my little V6 manual transmission Ford Ranger was totaled. You guys know I'm an outdoorsy guy. At that point, I hadn't even hunted before. I wasn't shooting archery, anything of the sort. That's a lie. Yes, I was. I had just started hunting the year before. I love my little truck. And since that day, I apologize for the dogs barking, folks. That's the neighbors, and I can't control that. Ever since that day, I have wanted a new truck. New, used, whatever. I just wanted a truck. But at that point in time, I certainly couldn't afford one. So I took the money that the insurance company gave me and had a couple $1,000s saved up and put it towards a used Volkswagen Jetta diesel. Very convenient because it got extremely good gas mileage. 46 highway. It's ridiculous. It's great. But still a little car. And it got me from point A to point B, and it was just fine when I was A, not married, and B, didn't have kids. It got me around, and my wife was gracious enough to let me use her Jeep when I wanted to go hunting. So, with that whole Volkswagen diesel shenanigans, anyway, Volkswagen decided to buy my Jetta back from me. And holy cow. They bought it back from me for $2,000 less than what I paid for it 4 years ago. 4 years ago. It wouldn't have been 4 years ago. 3 years ago. I don't know. Whatever it was. I put almost 60,000 miles on that car. Regardless, they did that very recently. We had gotten a minivan, so my wife is driving the minivan and I was driving her old Jeep. It's a 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And I've been okay with that, and I've pretty much relented myself that I'm saving my money from this moonlighting gig, every penny that I can, in order to finally get my truck, because this Jeep is 17 years old and is eventually just gonna well, last Friday night I went over to my neighbor's house. He's a great guy. I got him into pipe smoking, so we decided let's have a pipe and a beer and hang out. Won't stay lit. Well, anyway, we get together for this beer. We haven't drank yet, and he says, I gotta drop my daughter off at some party. You want to come with me? Okay. Well, he opens up his garage, and the truck he had been driving is not there. There's another truck there. So, Danny, whose truck is this? Well, it's mine. It's under my name, but my dad's been driving it on weekends for the past couple of years. Well, okay. And he tells me, tomorrow, I'm taking this car to Albuquerque, New Mexico, about 4 hours away. I'm trading it in for a much nicer truck. He tells me which truck he's getting, and I won't disclose that kind of stuff, but he tells me, oh, well, they're giving me so-and-so money for this truck, and I feel like it's okay, but it's not a lot. It's only got 40-something thousand miles on it. Well, not bad. And so, start second guessing myself. And from the money that they bought back that Jetta from me, and the little bit that I've earned by moonlighting these past 2 months, I had exactly that amount. And so I told him, Danny, I will write you a check tomorrow for this car if you don't trade it in. And ladies and gentlemen, I finally got my truck. What a blessing. It fell into my lap. I got a fantastic deal on it. And I'm not going to be a braggart about like, oh, well, I got a truck. And I'm just so blessed that this opportunity fell into my lap. And I'm so happy to finally have something with four-wheel drive that will allow me to chase them critters. Because the Lord knows that Jetta did not do the trick. I kept thinking to myself, if I keep saving, I'm either going to spend a whole lot more money on a truck, or B, by the time I make that money, it's probably going to be time for me to head back to Kansas. And I'm going to want to spend that money on the down payment for a house or land or something of the sort. And I'm never going to get my truck, at least not for a good long time. And so I'm extremely blessed. I'm really, really happy with it. But yeah, I'm not going to show it off right now or whatever. But that was just my little story. Then secondly, Gander Mountain, a big outdoor store. I don't know where they have Gander Mountains in the U.S. I think they have a couple in Florida. Kind of like a Cabela's, kind of Bass Pro Shop-ish. But the prices aren't as good. And they don't have quite the selection of stuff that a Cabela's would have. Well, got an email a long time ago, a few months ago, that a bunch of Gander Mountains were closing. And the one right by my house wasn't on that list. But sure enough, they started having a closeout sale. And this week, a bunch of stuff went down to 60% off. And so a bunch of the like camo gear that I had wanted to get, and a few other stuff like a big air mattress or whatever, that we just needed for the house anyway. Ended up picking that stuff up. But stuff adds up. So what's going to be taking a hit is any pipe and tobacco spending that I might need or want to do for the next few months at least. Yeah, I got to recoup the tax money that I made from my moonlighting gig and stuff like that. And so I'll be working hard for that. Got a couple big trips coming up. I'm going to be going to Orlando with to celebrate the birthday of my best friend. And that's going to be a good time. But traveling to Florida is not cheap. But I'm really happy that after hanging out with my best friend, I'm going to take a day or two with my mom and dad as well. And I miss them a lot. My mom was here recently, but yeah, I haven't seen my dad in quite a while. And so I'm really pumped to see him and hang out with him. Watch some elk hunting videos and all that nonsense. He loves that stuff too. But I don't know. That's been my weekend. Had a great 4th of July. Did not watch fireworks. Too late for the kids. Fireworks here in town are pitiful anyway. But I had a great little pool party at my neighbor's house. Just hanging out with the kids, enjoying them. And I just got to see one of my other best friends that I hadn't seen in years. So really, really, really happy about that, guys. Thanks for letting me ramble and just kind of share my excitement with you guys. I'm not one to really show off, everything that God has blessed me with. But this is one thing that I'm just so excited about. It's been one of those things, like from the day that I crashed my truck years ago. I just felt the need to have a truck in my life, and thankfully one pretty much just fell on my lap. So that's it, guys. Just a little rambling, just a little, I guess it is a little bit of bragging, but not in any sort of mean-spirited sort of way. I hope nobody takes it that way. I know there are people that are well worse off than me, and I don't take it for granted. That's all I can say. I've been really blessed. Ladies and gentlemen, blessings and smoke rings. Ciao.